friendship.
Live from the Sycamore Lounge, it's time to muster the gusto with James and Sean.
So Sheryl, welcome.
So James, thank you.
We're filming?
Yeah.
We started
Cool.
filming? Now I'm terrified.
Sheryl is here.
5 minutes and 18 seconds.
Oh,
3 minutes
God.
and 18 seconds ago.
I'm out of here.
I wanted you on from the very beginning, right off the bat.
Well, I'm here on time.
But I was nervous to tell you about the show. I was nervous to tell a lot of people about the
Why,
show.
dear?
I don't know. Is it something that a 10-year-old would do?
At least.
We're all children at heart, James.
I know. It's like, I don't know why. I shouldn't be embarrassed. It's a fun thing we do, and we enjoy doing it.
And you're terrific at it. That's
Thank
the thing.
you.
And I want to say, because I know this is on now, and I want to say that you guys are terrific. Now, just so you know, I have a history in television. I was a writer when I was out of college. I played a dead body in college on television, and I wasn't very good because I got up. Apparently, corpses are supposed to lie still. Who
Wait,
knew?
a dead body on TV? Who?
Truly, it's, whatever.
Where?
In college, at a Catholic university. So apparently there was something about rising from the dead that was a part of this plot I didn't know at the time. So I have a long history in media, and I can tell you from my great experience, you guys are fantastic. You're very real. You're very loving. You're having a good time together. You're doing great work in the world. People watch your show and they feel better when they finish because they've gotten something, they've learned something, or you made them laugh. Thank you so much for what you do, and please keep doing it.
Thank you. I don't know what to say when you say things like that to me.
It is an honor.
Thank you very much.
It's an honor to be with you guys.
I appreciate that.
I love being here. Thank you so much.
We love having you here.
Thank you.
Would
It's
you
nice
like
being here. Bye.
hit the road? Would you like to tell us about the Love and Kindness Initiative?
I would love to tell you about the Love and Kindness Initiative. Thank you, first of all, for asking me about this, because this is important to me.
Of course.
Okay, so for those of you watching, you probably heard there was a synagogue shooting last fall in Pittsburgh, and I'm originally from Pittsburgh. So my cousin was one of the people killed. There were 11 people killed in the synagogue. My cousin was one. His sister barely escaped. She hid. The shooter almost found her, but did not. Now, I didn't know my cousin. I met him twice when I was a kid. I left Pittsburgh when I was a teenager. I would come back a lot to visit, but I didn't live there anymore, so I never saw him again. But this happened in my neighborhood. This was Squirrel Hill. Mr. Rogers lived in Squirrel Hill. This gives you an idea of what kind of a neighborhood it is. I took piano lessons a half a block away from the synagogue. My wedding rehearsal many years ago was in the chapel where 2 people were killed. I had connections with the rabbi at the time. He was the one who performed my wedding ceremony, even though he wasn't my synagogue rabbi. He was my teacher in college, so I asked him to do the wedding ceremony. So I had many connections with the neighborhood, with the synagogue, and this hit me really, really hard. Plus, it is my family. My grandfather and his grandmother were sister and brother, so it is a close relationship. And I couldn't get to Pittsburgh to be with my family, and it hurt a lot. So I said, wow, what can I do? What can I do in New Jersey, hundreds of miles away, to make a difference in the world right now? Because I hate the way this is happening. I want to see things get better. I want to see more love. And I realized that I could do it one person at a time by saying thank you. So I started by going around the people in my neighborhood. I walked door to door. And the people I knew, and sometimes people I didn't know, I would say, I want to thank you for your friendship. I want to thank you for being kind and smiling when you see me, for how you were when my dog was missing. I know you really love my dog. Thank you for supporting us when she had cancer and when she recovered from cancer. And people gave me responses I didn't expect. They actually thought this was good. And I'm doing this for me because I need to do something with what I'm feeling. And they're saying, you gave me a great gift. So I'm thinking, this is pretty interesting. So I expanded it out from my neighborhood. And I started going to people like James, and I'd say, thank you again for your friendship. It means the world to me. And I would contact people I hadn't spoken to in years. Sometimes I would contact exes, and they didn't know what my angle was. There's no angle. It's just saying, I'm sorry if I've hurt you in the past. I love you always, whether we're in each other's lives or not. And this is important for me to do. So some people got it, some people did not get it. Then I started taking it into stores because I realized people who work retail, as you know, this is not an easy job to do. Most people are not going to be real kind and loving to you when you work retail. So,
yeah, especially around here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not that we have personal experience.
No, not at all. So I started going into stores, and if somebody would smile at me, I would say, thank you for your smile. You've got a great smile. And they would say, oh, thank you. They would be surprised that I noticed. And sometimes the conversations would morph into something more. As an example, about a month and a half ago, I was in a large American craft supply store, which you can figure out who it is. There's only probably two choices, and it's the one you think it is. And
Treasure Island.
isn't that where Trader Joe's used to be?
That is,
So
yeah.
I thought that was Treasure Island. Nice. Very, you're quick, Dan. Okay, so I go into at that particular craft store, and I go up to the register, and there's a lovely young woman at the register, and she had highlights in her hair. I never noticed stuff like that, but I noticed it with her. And I said, wow, you got beautiful highlights in your hair, and you've got a great smile. And she says, you know, I had the highlights done 2 days ago, and you're the first person who's mentioned that to me. Thank you so much. I said, well, they're beautiful, and they look great on you, and I want to give you a little gift. So when I finish my purchase, I'm going to go to the car and bring you a little gift. And is that okay? Yeah. So I finished the purchase, I come back, and I said, got this bag of 10 assorted heart-shaped beads. Now, I love your smile. You're making a positive difference in the world. Thank you so much. People come into your checkout line, and they leave better than when they came in because you're such a kind person. And she started to tear up, and she says, I was sexually assaulted 2 days ago. I haven't told anybody about it. You're the first person I felt safe enough to talk about this with. And I realized this is going much bigger than I ever thought it was going to go. So the Love and Kindness Initiative is going out into the world and doing two easy things. First of all, looking for somebody who has in some way touched your heart. Could be somebody from your past, could be somebody you've known for years, it could be somebody you just met. Doesn't really matter, but they've touched your heart in some way. And step two is you say thank you. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your hugs. Thank you for your support. Thank you for always being there for me. Thank you for making me laugh, whatever it is. And keep doing this over and over and over. Everybody you meet, everybody you work with, everybody you live with, just keep doing this. And we are going to transform this world through love. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. And it works. I will tell you, I've been doing this ever since October of 2018, and I've seen such a huge difference in the people I've been meeting. I walk into stores, and people say, Sheryl, how you doing? And I'm not doing it so that people know who I am. I'm just being here as a Johnny Appleseed of love. That's all I'm doing.
Nice.
That's what I call it. I'm a Johnny Appleseed of love, and you can all be Johnny Appleseeds of love along with me. It doesn't have to be just me. But the more I do this, the more I see people coming together. I'm hooking up strangers. In one store I go to, there is a woman who works behind the customer service desk, and I've gotten to know her and her boyfriend and all of this. So one day I'm talking to her, and she's being sweet and wonderful, and there's a guy in line to check out after her. After I'm done, he wants to check. Brad just came in, so I have to say, hey, Brad, how
Brad,
you doing?
there's coffee inside if you want.
Oh, there is?
Yeah,
All right,
go
before
grab.
I make my grand debut in front of the...
So I'm at this store, and my friend at customer service is behind the counter, and I'm talking with her, and there's a guy behind us in line, and I knew that my friend at customer service was studying nursing. She had told me that before. So the guy behind me in line says, I work in operating rooms, and my wife is an LPN, and she's a nurse. She's actually a nurse practitioner, and she can help you with your career. Here's her business card. Call her if you want advice on what it's like to do this in the real world. She will be very happy to help you. So if I hadn't talked to this woman, this would never be taking place. You see how this grows? It's not just about me and one other person. It's about me and the world, and it's about you and the world, and you and the world, and you and the world. This is what I love about it.
Not him, though.
Oh yeah, him for sure. Oh yeah, you too. And it's all about Chuck. Chuck,
That's it.
you will change this world.
Chuck's the one.
Chuck, you're gonna do it.
You're gonna
Talking
do
about
it.
Chuck? Hold on a second.
Bring it in here.
Hey, this
We're
guy.
hugging.
We're hugging. Hello.
I don't really
hello.
want to hug you.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Chuck, believe I just came in. So what have I missed? What's
Butler
Sheryl
did it.
was telling us about the
jeez.
Love and Kindness Initiative.
sit down.
How do we distill that real
Carefully.
quickly
Very
to tell
carefully.
Brad what it is?
Be nice. Keep doing it.
Be nice, keep doing it. That's
like
that's what Sheryl says.
You know, if I may, that's really great. And this is a quote that I have picked up from someone famous that you all might know, a man by the name of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's known. So,
Who?
yeah, that guy, The Rock. You know,
The what?
The thing that he said was, "It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be
There you
nice."
go. That's
And
it.
that one,
Yeah,
bam.
definitely.
I love it.
You know, and he's a very charitable, generous guy. He came from nothing, and look at him now, raising eyebrows and making $50 million a movie or whatever it is. You know, a lot of
spreading joy.
money. And spreading joy.
It's true.
And
It's
eating
true.
pancakes. So how can we're clearly kindred spirits, The Rock and I.
Basically the
Why is he
same thing. Actually, I was like, is the Rock here?
Is that The Rock?
Did I invite the Rock
Yeah.
to my home?
No.
He could be coming.
That would be. We've been trying to get Bruce Springsteen. I don't know.
You're gonna get Bruce. You're gonna.
You
have
think
it.
so?
Oh yeah.
I sort of gave up on it though.
Nah, don't give up.
But
Never give up.
I gave up in a couple different ways. First off, it's like, why would he? Well,
Why not?
proximity is what we have. He lives around here,
He
right?
does live around here.
So
but
we
it's
do-
not-
we-
Why wouldn't he do it?
Because I'm sure he is bothered constantly by people always asking him to go certain places.
Get
Bruce, you
your
want to
brain
be
out
on
of
my
the way.
podcast? It's called Thunder Road, and I'd love it if you were on.
Yeah, I'm sure he
He
never
probably
hears
gets
the
that
end of
every
it,
day.
right?
Yeah.
But I thought two things we have is proximity and a morbid curiosity. Because it's a talk show, always and forever talk show. We don't call it a podcast.
Yeah, it's a
So,
talk show.
It is a
if he
talk
says,
show.
"Hey,
Talk show. We're
Bruce
talking in
Springsteen,
front of a camera.
There's
It's a
two.
show.
It's a
Yeah.
Bleep that.
Believe
Come
that.
on down and visit. I think maybe he's just like just curious enough to be like, man, maybe who knows?
Here's
You
where I
never
would go
know.
with this.
Also, how charming are you guys?
Really.
Come on.
For sure.
I think I wouldn't be charming around him though. I think I'd be nervous.
Why? He's a guy.
Did I ever tell
He's
you?
a guy, but he's a guy that I admire a lot, and
He's
I'm a
a
big
guy.
fan of his work.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
If
Bottom line.
you want, I'll talk to him because I don't care about him at all.
Yeah.
What are
I'll
you
just
gonna
be like, hey,
No,
what's up?
They care, Bruce.
Yeah, come on.
Like that.
This is New Jersey.
Don't
Get a shot
alienate
for that.
Bruce.
Yeah.
No, we
God.
don't. I don't
Oh
actually
my God.
necessarily care if you come on or not. If you do, whatever.
Real,
Just a
recognize
dude.
real. Did I ever tell you guys the one time that I met
Reverse
Bruce?
psychology.
You met
Patty,
Bruce?
I'm
I
going to
met
talk to
Bruce.
you. Patty, you tell him about this, okay?
Patty.
I know you're watching. Patty.
Patty's definitely watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for Patty.
You met Bruce
And
once,
Chuck.
Fred?
Yeah, it's not much of a story, but I feel like he's just got this vibe where he likes being Bruce.
Yeah.
So I used to go to Workout World, which is now
Jersey Strong.
Jersey Strong, the
Yeah.
artist formerly known as Workout World. And I'm getting ready to leave. I take my locker, start getting all my stuff together. Corner of my eye, I see someone take the locker next to me. And I look over and look back down, and I realize that's Bruce fucking Springsteen.
Whoa.
So I was like, okay. What do you say? What, like, do I say something to him? I'll probably never see him again as long as I live. You never know.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's Bruce Springsteen. You better make this count. So I look back over and I just go, that was it. So in that moment, though, he looks at me and like a karate sensei, like who's just so far above his pupils, just real quick, that was the whole thing. So I go wash my hands, do whatever, and I'm walking out, and I happen to be walking out right behind him. And as he's walking, doing this little thing, you know, like he's like a smaller guy. He's not fit. He's good at a lot of things, but he's not fit. I'm sorry, Bruce.
You're just blowing the show, you know that.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Look! It's not
It's
my.
fine. Reverse psychology.
Yeah. So I'm sure he does great.
I think he is fit.
Look, yeah, no, you're right. And look, Bruce has gotten more pie in one day than I'll get in my entire life. I think that's all I'm saying. So, as I'm leaving, and this is not hyperbole, every single person that walked past Bruce said hello to him. Every person in that gym, Bruce, hey Bruce is here. All of them. He loves it.
Yeah.
He loves it. There's no way that guy doesn't have his own home gym or he can go work out in private or do whatever he wants. He's Bruce Springsteen.
He could buy Workout World.
He can
and
buy
send everyone
Workout
home.
World.
Yes.
Exactly, but I think he thrives in the fact that he's Bruce Springsteen. He's more or less considered like a god around here to some people.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, and like, you know, we're only human. I feel like if I was in that position, I'd be like, this is kind of cool. You know, it's kind of cool. So Bruce might like it in the new age where people watch everything on the internet, and this is a good way to reach the kids, all you kids and Chuck and all that.
All you
that out
Chucks?
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you Chucks. You know, you never know. Never say never.
It's true.
And if not him, you got JBJ.
You know, no disrespect to Mr. Bon Jovi.
He's not Bruce.
I'm not a fan of his music.
I know. We talked about this yesterday. How
Yeah, we did.
He's just got the silliest songs. Cheryl, his songs are so silly.
Cheryl, I'm sorry.
Like-
Apologies if you're a big Bon Jovi fan. I am not.
They're fun, you know, in certain scenarios, but it's just like I'm a cowboy. Like, it's- I don't know if like
Spot on impression,
yeah,
by the way.
thank you.
That was
Spot
good.
on.
That was
Like, I'm a
good.
steel horse, I ride. Like, I'm not cranking that at home when I'm like sipping on my coffee and doing whatever.
I do picture you working out in short shorts listening to that song.
Yeah,
With a little
doing
bandana.
squats,
I'm
like,
a cowboy.
yeah, but I have to also be wearing a jean vest with the sleeves cut off.
Why
Of
not?
course.
Exactly.
Naturally.
Why not? It's
Of
all
course.
about living your truth.
There you go.
And as a very close friend of mine, as she likes to put it, she says, live your most authentic life. Your most authentic life. Whatever
right.
that may mean is up to you.
Chuck.
Nice
Who
moment.
says that? Oh, that's my friend Hannah.
Hannah.
Hey, Hannah. Hannah just got married. That's where I was.
Congratulations, Hannah.
Congratulations
Mazel tov.
to Hannah and Phil.
Phil.
If you guys are watching this,
Hannah,
Phil still owes me $10 though. So
dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Phil?
let him have it, Brad.
We're gonna have a talk.
Well,
Phil, you don't want to have these guys show up to your door, so
no.
get that $10.
You don't
in.
want this, dude.
I'd be terrified.
You don't want this.
So the topic today is friendship.
Oh, yeah,
what
right.
a lovely topic.
Well, it's
Yeah.
on three. We'll say friendship and raise our fists.
You on three?
1, 2, 3.
Friendship.
That's going to be the opening.
Yeah.
So my first question about friendship, something that I always ponder,
Yeah.
is do y'all find it difficult to make friends as an adult? And I thought you and I could maybe talk about how we became friends.
Let's talk about our friendship it
because
doesn't make
we were
sense.
both adults
We were.
when we became friends.
We were. I'm not anymore, but I was at the time.
I love that glass, dude.
You know how I got this glass?
How? Oh, dude.
True.
Nice.
It's a wonderful
Cheryl,
show.
Yes.
Cheryl came. We told her about the show. She started watching the show, and was it like a day later that you left this on
close.
our set here?
Close.
2 of these
You know,
crystal goblets.
Tell them why. Tell them why.
know it's
Is it
great.
because when we're in our limo on the way to to our big fancy set, we're gonna be sipping out of these goblets?
Heck
No, we're going to be eating tricks out of our
Tricks.
goblets.
Oh, right,
See,
tricks.
because
Yes.
you can hold on to the stem,
Yeah.
and while you're in a moving vehicle, so you don't spill your tricks. Because it's difficult eating trick cereal off of a table. Have you ever tried this? It's really hard to do. So
God.
this means you can be in a moving limousine, hold the stem of the goblet, eat
true.
your tricks.
By the
There you
way,
go. Wait.
also difficult to eat off of the floor of a limousine.
Yes.
I know from experience.
He's tried.
Cheryl,
I like your story.
Many times.
have you ever tried bowl?
Bowl?
Bowl. Yeah, bowl. It's this brand new thing. It's really great. It's worth checking. Bowl.
Did you guys know that this bowl is aerodynamically designed for?
Wow,
optim-
James, shut the fuck up.
That's a throwback.
That's the best part of the whole thing.
Yeah. Like,
It kills me. If I watch it today, I still laugh.
It's hilarious.
Yeah.
You don't want to know how many times I've watched that. Whenever I need a laugh, I watch that clip. It's so funny.
yeah.
Thank you.
You know what? Spreading joy. What's so bad about that?
Exactly.
What's so bad about that? It's all
Nothing.
part of friendship. Bam, full circle.
Friendship.
Boom.
Boom.
Let's talk about how we became friends.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
It's a great story. You may have a different. I want to hear your point of view on this because I remember it one way. You may remember it a whole different way.
Okay, who's gonna go first?
You go first.
Me go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I remember Sheryl. I used to work at a place. Should I say the name of the place, or it's a portal to hell? We don't need to give them any business.
Yeah, they who shall not be
Oh, yeah,
named.
that's what
I used to work at They Who Shall Not Be Named. Sean worked there. Brad worked there. Everyone in our circle has worked there at some point. I feel
Yeah.
like, or applied there. But anyway, I remember Sheryl coming in, and the thing I remember most about you was you were so funny. Like, and I always remember, like, oh, and maybe I didn't know your name the first couple times,
Yeah.
but I thought, oh, this woman, she's so funny. And then I remember, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I remember feeling a little self-conscious when you came in, because I would be like, oh, I don't know if I can, like, I'm tired. You would come in the morning, and I'm not a
Yeah.
morning person.
Yeah.
But it would be like 9, 10 a.m. or something like that. And I would be like, I'm like tired. I don't know if I could like keep up with her, because I remember you being so quick
Yeah.
and so funny. And I just remember you coming in periodically from time to time, and you
Yeah.
always had nothing but kind words, and you were always really hilarious,
Thank you.
and just the sweetest person that I could imagine meeting.
Thank you. So much.
Of course. So that's my side of the story.
Okay, so you're going to hear a very different story from me.
She hated me.
I
Right off the bat, she's like, ugh!
This guy, leave it.
This will be a story you'll probably remember because it's not what you're expecting to hear. I have had 4 strokes. I had a big one in March of 2012. No, 2013. No, 2012. I'm sorry, 2012. And I didn't go to the hospital because at that point it didn't matter if I lived or died. I figured if God wanted me here, I'd be here. And if God wanted me back there, I'd be back there. It didn't really matter. Take it whatever way you wanted, God. So because I do natural health work, I knew about supplements and I took supplements, and I understood the important thing was to feel loved and supported. This was difficult because I had aphasia, which means you don't express yourself very well. You forget words a lot of the time. I didn't feel comfortable because the stroke happened when somebody was yelling at me 2 weeks after I had a coronary incident, and I said, don't call unless you can treat me with kindness, love, and respect. And he chose not to do that, and I stroked out, and I'm still 7.5 years later dealing with brain damage. And I do love him. I will always love him because this is something that's made me a better person. So I can't be angry at this person for making me a better version of me. Okay? So I didn't trust people because of this. I had aphasia. I had no censor anymore in my head to say this is appropriate and this is not. That was blown out. I was Sophia Petrillo. If you watch The Golden Girls, she says whatever she wants without any control over it. That's where I was. So every other word out of my mouth was a curse word. I would do this with young children. I had no control over it at all, and I talked really, really loud. So don't I sound great? I'm like the first date from hell when you hear something like this. And I realized I can't go through the rest of my life without people in my life. I have to have friends. And how am I going to do this? Because I know I'm being loud. I know I'm being inappropriate. I don't trust what's coming out of my mouth because I have no filter anymore. How am I going to possibly do this? So I went to this store that shall not be named. And
Portal to hell.
that was, yeah. So the thing that was really cool about this is I didn't know him. All I knew is that he was nice to me when I couldn't use the credit card machine. That's all I knew about this guy. I would put my credit card in and I would say, what button do I hit for this? And he never got mad at me for making him repeat it over and over again. There was a long line of people back of me. They're like, come on, move on. I need to pay for my purchases. He never made me feel less than, not worthy. So I decided I was going to pretend that James and I were friends. I needed to have a friend. Let's make one up here. And if it doesn't work, hey, what have I lost? I don't know this guy. So I would walk into the store, and again, loud, and I would say, hey, you don't call, you don't email, you don't fax. What's the matter with you? To the
I should have
point-
faxed you.
You should have faxed. Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
I have no idea how to send a fax. Anyway, sorry.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. So, and I was very convincing because a few people looked at me like, and I figured, okay. And I didn't know I was being funny. All I knew is I had no filter. I was always funny. When you're short, you've got to be. If you want to survive in the world, you better be funny. So he was lovely to me. Even when I would say, you haven't faxed, he didn't think I was a psycho. He just said, he would just start playing with me. So we could play with each other, and that felt really, really good. So we became real friends. And he's so dear to me now. If you hadn't had the reaction you had back then when I couldn't speak well, when I felt completely inadequate to be in my life, I didn't know how to drive anymore, I didn't have a caregiver, I didn't have any support other than my dog and the people I would meet in the world, okay? So if you could help me feel like this, you could help me feel worthy of having friends again, even if I was loud, even if I was inappropriate, I could go out and do other things. I could not do the Love and Kindness Initiative today, walking up to strangers, contacting people from my past who didn't have good feelings about me, if he hadn't been nice to me. And I love you so much for what you've
I
done.
love you. Come here. Come
I
here.
love
Come
you
on.
so much.
That's excellent. That's real.
True story.
That's only on the medium. Like
Your
Mustard and
friendship
Gusto.
set up a chain reaction
It did.
of love in the
It
universe.
did.
That's a beautiful thing.
Because he allowed it to happen.
Yes.
I mean, he could have looked at me and said, "Oh, this woman's wacko. I want nothing to do with her."
I thought you were so funny.
Thank
I thought
you.
you were, and so sweet.
I
You
am
were just.
wacko, by the way.
To be fair, we're a little bit bonkers ourselves.
Hey.
Chuck knows what I'm talking about.
Takes one to know one.
Yeah, Chuck, have you even subscribed to the channel? Let's be real here. He probably has. I don't know why I'm giving you
I don't know what
Chuck.
when Sheryl tells me that story, I don't know what to do or say. But thank you. That's
It's always the truth. But this is what I want y'all to know at home, that if somebody wants to be your friend, there may be a reason that you have no idea about. I mean, he thought I was funny, so let's hang together. He didn't know my life depended upon having a friend. And because he allowed this to happen, look at the work I'm doing in the world right now, going up to strangers. You could do the same thing for other people. If you see somebody who's different in some way, either they're brain damaged. I was a caregiver for my mom. She had brain damage, so I know what it's like to be with people who are brain damaged. A lot of people don't want to be around them. Sweetest people in the world. Got to get past what you think is going on and go into your heart. You will have so many wonderful experiences, I guarantee you. So people who are different in some way, either they're physically different, they're emotionally different, or mentally different, whatever, try it out. Try to be a friend, and you may end up growing in ways you never imagined and helping the world expand in love. There you go.
Absolutely. You know, it's those small acts of kindness that tend to
That's
have
it.
the most power, because
That's
you
it.
never know what exactly anybody is going through at any given time of any day.
That's right.
So if it all starts with you, you can say, well, I wish people were more like this, but it's your responsibility to control how you behave.
Yep.
And if you set some sort of standard, you could potentially influence other people just by being yourself. And if you don't, that's their choice, which unfortunately is out of your control. But maybe they'll see something from what you've done or what other people have done or other people have said. So it all starts with you. It's all in-house, and you did that. You made the choice to do that. You made the choice to do that when you first saw her. So you guys live it. And I've said that before. You guys live it with this show. And that's why I love being on this show, and that's why we're friends. Full circle back to the topic, and that's it. Yeah, you guys are great.
We can't nerf him now.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys are gonna
I
nerf
forgot
me?
about that. We were going to nerf you, but
Dude, I'll take it. Can we make it like that scene in RoboCop?
Oh, that's maybe lay the crabs up. This
yeah,
is
that's
my
on you,
fault.
man.
That's fair. But I'm just saying, that whole tangent just now, Mr. Krabs, kind of a dick.
Chuck, look how much you learned from this show. Before you tuned in today, where was your life? And now look at all the evolution you're
Yeah,
experiencing.
Chuck, do you see what you learned from a pot-smoking nerd bachelor who hangs out and drinks coffee out of a unicorn mug with his pals? His responsible pals who bring far more to the table and wear nice jackets, you know?
Pass it over.
I can't get that. Oh, thank you.
Yes, bang, bang, bang.
Appreciate it.
So that's all.
Yes.
Friend.
So, making friends. Sean, what about making friends as an adult? How do you feel about that? We haven't heard from you.
I really have never had problems. Anywhere I go, I feel like this world is a wonderful place filled with wonderful people. And I've always been blessed to, somehow I always find them. When I was in Wisconsin, when I was in Brooklyn, anywhere I go, I don't know, it's just,
It's you.
I
for
try
sure.
to just,
It's true. People love my brother. Love him. Sometimes
try to have
too
fun.
freaking much. Sometimes I
got
need
to.
to back off.
sometimes
Hey.
people get a little attached to me. But no, I mean, I just like to have a good time. And I feel like people like that. So
They need
let's
it.
just have a good time, man.
Let's all have fun.
That's all I want to
That's
do
it.
is just mess around and just joke around and have fun.
Yeah.
And I feel like people connect to that. People enjoy that. So many people take this world a little too seriously. And you know, like, fuck
Amen.
it, man. Let's just fucking crack some fart jokes and chill out.
Crack 'em. Like butt crack.
Yeah. This guy gets
You
it.
see what I mean? That's why this works. That's why this all works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying.
Just wait till we get Gusto Mansion.
Oh, God, Gusto Mansion.
Gusto Mansion.
Yeah,
Pancake
coming-
Mansion.
coming soon.
Or House of Gusto.
House of Jacuz.
House
of Jacuz.
Yeah, it's the House of Jacuz. If you guys don't know about Jacuz, let me tell you.
Please talk about Jacuz.
Yeah, you want? Yeah, all right.
So
'cause-
can I start by saying we're looking for a place together,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
then
yeah.
one house had a jacuzzi bathtub, like a bathtub with the jacuzzi
cool.
capability.
Yeah.
And this just really captured Brad's imagination.
Yeah, I just figured like it's a really great way to bring guests over by letting them know, like, hey, you want to maybe go back to my place and hang out in my jacuzzi?
Whoa.
You know? Hey,
Yeah.
hey, right? But listen, then when they go there and realize the jacuzzi's not really a jacuzzi, that's what I tell them. I say, no, you see, jacuzzi is a mindset. It's all about the jacuzzi. And if you feel jacuzzi, you'll be jacuzzi, you know? So that's where that came from, and now it hasn't gone away.
No, they're
it
really
won't.
sticking to, and every other place we've seen has no jacuzzi, nothing at
Yeah,
all.
not a thing.
Nothing
But
that
this-
even approaches jacuzzi.
But this last one we went to, that had a really nice bathroom, and like you could pretend, you know what I
We can
mean?
get some that you put.
When you
Well, I
give 'em-
figured we would just get a tube, and one of us just kind of
While the other one's
you are a
jacuzzing?
human
yeah, while the
jacuzzi.
other one's jacuzzing, we're helping.
Bro, it's
out.
my turn to get the jacuzzi. It's my turn.
It's like the ultimate wingman triad. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like, that's how it goes. So if you guys need jacuzzi, we're here to help.
Oh,
Some
man.
intense wingmaning right there.
Yeah, dude. But like, I wouldn't have it any other way. If I had to choose my wingman, are you serious? We're going out on the town. You guys like wearing the jackets, looking spiffy. Even if you're not wearing the jackets, you look great. And I don't know, whatever clothes I have.
Can you wear? I was thinking about this even before we started the show. Like,
Yeah.
I was wearing one day. I went to a wedding.
Yeah.
And then I had a flannel, and it was like a little chilly the next day. I think it was in December or something
Okay.
like that,
Yeah,
or
it's a cold
October.
month.
But I thought, I'll wear the flannel, and you know what? I'm just gonna throw this on over it.
Over
I
the
thought it looked,
flannel?
yeah, I thought it looked pretty good, and I was
Dude.
wondering, like, should this be my new thing?
Yeah.
Because like you don't see people out. You see people with flannels always, like it's mandatory.
Yeah.
But I just always loved flannel ever since I was
Flannel's
a
cool.
kid.
Me too.
So, Sheryl,
James.
style icon. What do you think?
What can I tell you? I think flannels rock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Me too. I love them.
And the thing about the jacuzzi thing, you can't get rid of the idea. It's like crabs. You just can't get rid of either one.
Just keeps
Can't,
coming
you can't
back.
shave off jacuzzi. You can't. And you want to know something? Flannel jacket combo? Definitely jacuzzi, man.
That leads to the
That's
jacuzzi.
styling.
So that style is jacuzzi.
Yeah.
That's styling.
We need to make this like a Gen Z phrase.
Yeah.
Yo, that's jacuzzi.
Yeah,
dude.
tell
Yeah.
Ian about it. Have him
Yeah.
spread the wealth. You know?
Be like-
Ian, stop running. Get jacuzzi. Don't stop running. You enjoy it. You're really good
No,
at
he's
it.
great.
You know? Yeah.
Sweet kid.
I was talking to him about it when you had the birthday thing here. I was like, Ian, tell me about like your athletic endeavors, because I'm a trainer. I like to do fit things. I'm just curious. And he's just like, yeah, I run. I'm always tired. I run like 80 miles a week. I'm like, Jesus Christ, Ian, how do you get better? How do you you're not letting your body rest? But he's like a Division I athlete. It's what helped him get into school, and he does like it. So I'm like, okay, that's important. It's just like just worried about you. That's all. Want you to be healthy.
I do worry about
You
that.
know, yeah. Like I feel like with athletic endeavors through the educational system, it's just like they grind these kids now, and a lot of with how sometimes the parents can be. Not to get off on like a totally other subject, but like they push them so hard where it's like, instead of playing a whole bunch of sports and learning a bunch of different things and meeting different kids and different walks of life, it's like you're picking one sport, you're going to play and train for it all year, and you're going to start when you're 5, and you're going to go all the way through to the end of college. So you're going to put so much wear and tear on your body from such a young age, while the body's still growing, and while your mind is still growing and developing. So I feel like it stunts growth for the youth to do things that way. And that's kind of what's pushed on people now, because sports is such a business and it's so competitive. And I just hate to see that, It's where's the joy? Where's the joy in all of this? You take the good with the bad, I'm sure. I mean, who am I? Like I just said, Chuck, some pot-smoking delinquent hanging out in a Macho Man shirt. But, it's just a thought that I had. So that's why I was concerned for Ian, because Ian is a friend. Friendship.
Friendship.
done.
Yes, thank you.
He finds a way to bring it back.
He does.
Yeah.
He always
Yes.
does.
I don't want to get off topic. It's not my place. I just waltzed in onto the show, and now I'm over here flapping my gums. That's not fair. I'm going to shut up, Sheryl.
Shut
Huh?
your
Yeah,
mouth.
take over.
What?
Shut your
Turn.
mouth now.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
I like to pretend to be aggressive sometimes.
Yeah,
'cause
James is not the hard
It'd
one.
be like
We gotta have a
friendship.
Friendship. Oh.
Dealing with this is something that I find is an issue in my life a lot, is dealing with a friendship that is fading
Yeah,
due to one or both parties just sort of not putting in the effort.
right.
Which effort is an interesting word, because it's like the effort to be my friend. it shouldn't be hard, right? But sometimes it can be. Life gets, everyone has their own life. But I found a lot in my life, things just sort of fade away.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that?
Who wants it? I'll take it. Let Ben
Sure,
do it.
sure.
I'll take it now.
Go down the line.
All right, so here's the deal. Many of us think that friends for life, but you change. Life changes, people change, your priorities change, your values sometimes will change. What you want out of life changes. So the people who are around you sometimes have to change. And you don't want to change them because that's not respecting where they are. There may be a really good reason why they are where they are. And by saying, well, you got to change to be my friend, that's not love. Love accepts people exactly as they are, unconditionally, forever. And even if they're not who you want to hang around with, the love never goes away, right? The love is always there, but you can just say, I wish you all the best. I'm the one over here now. I have a client, I think that's a client, an ex-client now, a friend in Canada. We were talking about this the other day, and she has friends from high school, and she's in her 50s now. And the friendships aren't serving her, and she doesn't want to walk away because they're long-time friendships. And really underlying that, I think, is a fear. Is somebody else going to come in? Am I going to be all alone? So once you know, like what Sean was saying before about how people are just magnetized to you, you have that energy that people want to be around you, and that's really a lovely place to be. If she would allow herself to just open up and receive all these great new people who want to come in, who will more than take the place of the people who she's letting behind, that's great. Now, I will tell you, I believe in ghosting, and I'll tell you why. Don't tell somebody why they're not your friend anymore. They're wonderful. So by saying, I don't want to be your friend anymore because you this, that's not love.
Yeah.
So even though ghosting is not popular, I think it's better than the alternative. Next.
To be painfully truthful.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is not ideal.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
people think that honesty is the best policy, but maybe not always.
Not always.
Yes. Not everybody has to know.
No.
I believe that. I feel like there's so much truth to that, though. Is that your life and other people's lives are constantly changing. We're always in a state of change. That's to be human.
Right.
So it's only natural that sometimes things will fade and other things will come to light.
Yes.
And that's okay. We have to be more accepting of that. The nature of the universe is so much more complex than we can really understand.
Yeah, very much so. Life goes on whether you want it to or not. And I believe we said this yesterday as well, completely out of context. But once you leave, you can never go home. Because nothing ever stays the same. And even if it's just people growing apart, where it's nothing personal, nothing intentional, where it's just life happens. It's not like a malicious, I'm done talking to you. But sometimes it just kind of happens. People tend to grow apart. But in that sense, you either you can find new people, or if you don't see that person for a while, maybe you see them again, you could rekindle everything like no time has passed at all. That's a really special thing. That's a true friend if you're able to do that. So where the hell was I going with all of that? I don't know. But sometimes people drift apart, I guess is the end of that. It's very, very, very jacuzzi,
Quite jacuzzi.
Like, for an example, now I remember, like you were saying, the love that you have for someone never really goes away, even if it just ends up somewhere else. It's still in the world.
Yeah.
You can't really kill that energy, It'll just go somewhere else. But as an anecdotal example, I have a friend, someone who I was very, 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 very close with, who had some experiences within their life that led to them having a completely drastic change in values, to the point where it was like negative, like toxic energy.
Right.
So nothing malicious or intentional like that, but I just knew, okay, if I keep this in my life, it's going to seep in and affect me, and that'll affect everything that I do, and I can't have that. So it was just one of those things where ghosting,
That's it.
unintentionally. But sometimes, like, we'll see each other and interact and talk, and everything's the same. It's all the same. There's no hate. There's nothing like that. It's just in life, we grow apart. People are doing things. You're staying focused. Because you got to take care of yourself. No one else is going to do it for you. So there are some consequences along the way. And that was one of them for me. But it's nice to know that if I were to see this person, we'd be able to talk like nothing happened and still be friends. It's just, sometimes that happens. That's all. Very jacuzzi.
Super jacuzzi.
Very jacuzzi.
Next.
Quite jacuzzi.
Well, you know what? Since it's starting to rain, I figure I had this thing saved for the end. Maybe we'll start it now.
Bring it on.
I looked up, I just typed into the internet friendship questions.
Ooh.
I found this list online.
Yeah.
I don't forget the name of the website. It was 70 questions to ask your BFF.
Okay.
Now, of course, we're not going to do all 70.
Yeah.
But I went and I picked a real choice 8. So figure we go down the line, maybe starting with Brad, Sean, Sheryl, me,
Sure.
and we'll hit these questions up.
Let's do it.
First one's a fun one.
Let's do it, baby.
Which famous person would you like to be friends with?
Oh, let's go full circle again. The Rock. It's definitely The
I
Rock.
figured you'd say The Rock.
Yeah, we're the same guy. We're not. He's very successful. A lot more charming. But
Should we go inside or?
I don't care at this point.
All right, we all cool with sitting in the rain for a little
it's
bit?
not so
I'm
bad
fine.
right now. It's
Yeah, it's
just
not too
it's
bad.
a little drizzle.
Refreshing.
Screwing up anything yet.
Okay,
Not
as
screwing
long as the
anything up.
equipment's not being
Yeah,
damaged.
you people at home, you probably don't even know that it's raining right now.
So you put
got
on
no idea.
you put on raincoats and umbrellas for us, and you'll be protecting us. That's
Come
what
on,
a friend
Chuck.
would do.
You a friend of the
Exactly.
show, Chuck?
It also immerses you
There you go.
in the episode.
That's
Yeah.
There you
right.
go.
You feel like you're in it.
So you should be watching
That's
this in the shower.
Yeah, it's like it's 3D, like 3D living. So yeah,
I just assume people watch us in the shower.
Yeah, or the bath. They draw a nice bath, a nice
Yeah,
soothing
exactly.
bath, and we.
So it was either The Rock. I've got an option B just in case, you guys, because I know you used to watch wrestling.
I did.
Cheryl, I don't know about your
Oh, yeah.
history. Okay, so there's a fellow by the name of Rob Van Dam. He's very much like all about like Zen, martial arts, comic books, smoking pot. I feel like we'd have a lot of things to say. And then,
I don't know. I guess if I had to say who would I want to be friends with, famous person, maybe like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh wow.
He seems pretty chill.
Great
He seems like a cool dude, and I like discussing like the universe and existence as a whole. So I feel like that'd be like an interesting guy to sit down with and talk to.
yeah,
I love that answer. That's great.
real good answer.
I mean, if I'm being real, that's usually what I really, really like talking about. So, you know,
That's
Space is the place, dude.
space and just existence as a whole.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because he
Well, I
really
figured
could
that.
talk about existence and like what it means to exist, and I like that. I find
Very
that
smart man.
interesting.
Very smart man.
Sure.
Well, thank you for asking. Apparently, all the best people are answering this question, so might as well chime in. Okay, so I wanted to be a sports writer when I first got into college, and my hero was Roberto Clemente because I'm from Pittsburgh. I got to wear his uniform one time. That was a huge thrill. It was dirty. We were at the dry cleaners. My best friends, when I was growing up, knew the dry cleaner for the Pirates uniforms. So we were able to get into the dry cleaner shop, and I wore Willie Stargell's uniform. I wore Clemente's uniform. It was a great thrill in my life. What a good man. Not just a great athlete. He went through a lot of abuse in Pittsburgh. There was a lot of racism going on, and he was always a gentleman. He always stood up. He raised us all up to be with him, rather than say, well, I'm being taken advantage of or whatever. And the way he passed by taking emergency supplies to Nicaragua, he didn't have to do that. What a good man. Besides that, I want to say Jessica Rabbit.
Jessica Rabbit?
Yeah,
Ooh, yeah.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
I'd be friends
I
with
like
Jessica Rabbit.
Balance it out.
Friends, Brad?
Hey. Hey. Jessica Rabbit, you want to come by? I've got a nice jacuzzi.
How do you do?
How do you do? One thing leads to another, and you get yourself some baba ganoush.
Oh,
For those of you who don't know, baba ganoush is another euphemism used by Team Gusto, and it implies relations, sexual relations. You know, baba ganoush. I stole that from Joey Diaz. He's great.
Jay.
First one that came to mind for me was filmmaker Jim Jarmusch.
Oh, wow.
Good answer.
Thank you. Mostly, I guess, because, well, I'm a huge fan of his movies.
Yeah.
And also, he seems to be, he hangs out with a lot of musicians, Tom Waits, Iggy Pop, RZA. So it's just like, oh, you got foot in the, and he's a musician too. So you got a foot in the movie door and a foot in the music door. And I just think we'd have a lot to say. And I just find, also, he was all about like New York in the 80s and stuff, and I find that very fascinating and interesting. I just feel like he's a very interesting guy.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, no, I was about to get up and be like, you shut up over there! Having a talk show.
He probably heard you.
Yeah, I don't care. You know what I said. It's a talk show.
We'll bring in the Rock to help you. It'll
I
be
mean, I
fine.
was just gonna eventually grab the Nerf gun.
You got the knife, right?
Yeah.
Give it here. Don't do it. Not on camera.
Yeah,
Take
so
it
I would
easy,
say Jim Jarmusch.
That's
and then
real.
that's Jenny Lewis, close second.
Great.
Musician that I'm very, very fond of. Okay, so question number two.
Kill me.
Who do you wish you could get back in contact with? Old friend, old family member? This one's a little deeper.
Who do I
These are good
wish-
questions.
I forget the name of the website I pulled them from, but I didn't make these questions up. I wish I could. It was something. You know what it was? I think it was called Mantelligence, which I was like, huh? Because I pulled.
Does that exist?
I pulled up the I pulled up the article and I was like, oh, these are decent questions. A lot of them. Mantelligence. What is that? Anyway, these are where those questions come from.
All right, mantelligence.com. So the question again was, who's someone you wish you could
Get back in contact with.
Oh, that's a good one.
If you don't have an answer, that's okay too. I'm not going to make you answer.
No, you know what?
Is it The Rock?
No, it's. I mean, we haven't talked in a while. Dwayne.
Springsteen.
We've been very busy. Springsteen. Yeah, come on. No, you know what? To be fair, and a lot of, like, full disclosure, a lot of this is on me too. I wish that things were a little different, where I actually could maintain and have a conversation with my ex, my last one, because there were moments where we both did make each other very happy, and I don't think that she's a bad person per se at all. And you know, we weren't meant to be together by any means, and I learned a lot from that. But it would be nice if I were to see her again, just to be like, you know, hey, how are you? I hope everything's okay. I hope you found what you're looking for. You know, things like that. I have no idea how she thinks or how she feels or what's going on with her or what she's having to deal with. But it would be nice to know that, like, life is still going on and your life is still going on just fine. Because mine is. You know, not to rub that in anyone's face. My life is amazing.
My life is great.
And I'm very happy. So, and I'm sure she is too. But it'd be nice to know.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get there eventually, though.
Yeah,
Just maybe not right now.
Like I said, I'm not worried about it really, but it's you know, someone who had a significant meaning in my life for a period of time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
Good
nice.
answer. I feel like Family Feud a lot. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Well, maybe if we
Survey
didn't
said.
we didn't have such good answers.
I wouldn't have to say it.
Yeah. Hey.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
Probably just like I was gonna say like a very general, like my ex-coworkers, but there is actually one coworker in particular who I used to get along with very much. His name is Xavier. Xavier Frazier, I believe was his last name, and he was fantastic. He was my drinking buddy, and I worked with him in Brooklyn. Just a really sweet guy. And I miss you, Xavier. I'm sure you're not watching this. I don't know how you'd be watching this, but if you are, I miss you, man.
Kudos to you, Xavier.
Nice.
Xavier, hit us up.
Nice. There are a lot of people I could say, but I'm going to mention my friend Johnny. We started out in radio at the same time in 2008. He lives in British Columbia. If he happens to be watching this, which I don't know because he travels the world now, he's made a huge career as a spiritual teacher. He does videos, he does all sorts of things. He was there for me when my mother was passing away. He was on the phone with me every day making sure I was okay. What a great heart. We went in different directions. The love will always be there, Johnny. I'm so grateful to all you've done for me, the gifts that you sent me, your friendship during difficult times in my life. Coming on my, it was a teleseminar series right after I'd had the stroke and I couldn't talk, so I was using this as speech therapy. You didn't care that I wasn't speaking well. You came on anyhow. That's a friend. And I want to thank you for all you've done for me, and I wish you all the best. If you ever want to get in touch with me, you know where to find me, dude. That's it.
All right. I'm going to say 15 years. I love that I can say these things now.
Please.
15 years ago,
Yeah, right.
I used to work at the video store, Hollywood Video, over there in Tinton Falls, New Jersey.
Hollywood.
And I don't know, Sean, if you remember this guy, a guy by the name of Joey Harris.
I don't know if I know if I remember him.
He was a great guy, and he was a very interesting guy. Someone that he was at the time. He was I was maybe 18, 19, and he was 30. So he seemed so mature and learned. But we had a lot of good times together, and he was a funny. And he was. What I loved about Joey was he hated small talk. Hated it. He would not engage in it, and which is in a retail setting. That's kind of what you're made of is small talk. And I told him that. I said, "You don't like small talk, do you?" He says, "No." He's like, "How would you get to know someone that way?"
Great.
So yeah, and this is before I had social media. Facebook was existent, but I think it was just a thing for college students.
Yeah.
So there's no way out. And his name is Joey Harris. So I mean, what am I going to do with that? That's the most common name. One of my fondest memories was us going to the time it was called Clearview Cinemas in Red Bank to see Brokeback Mountain together. Very fond memory. Yeah, Joey Harris.
Nice.
Good dude. Good dude. Okay. Who or what is your nemesis? Now, Brad is a big wrestling fan. I feel like nemesis.
Let me tell you something, brother. My nemesis is metaphysical. It's no particular person, but it is the societal standards that are placed on people to expect to behave a certain way or do certain things. And you know what? I think anyone who follows that stuff as opposed to following their heart, as long as they're not hurting anybody, is big old butt liquor. How about that? So I'm not down with that. So if there's one thing I can't stand, it's the societal expectations placed on the individual and the Dutch. No, I don't have a problem with the Dutch.
That's great. Did you ever see Gold Member, the Austin Powers movie?
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
Two things you can't stand: people that are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
Yeah. But that's honestly my biggest thing. And again, like I always am a firm believer that art is the lie that reveals the truth. And I had just seen something from what I was watching yesterday. Actually, a lot of stuff happened yesterday. I keep bringing it up right now. Are y'all familiar with Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite shows of all time, and one of the characters on there is Uncle Iroh. He's like this source of wisdom for one of the characters on the show. And one of the things that he says is there is nothing wrong with a life of peace and prosperity.
That's beautiful.
Nothing. So, everyone always thinks that there's these like grandiose expectations that we all have to live up to. But when you think about it, in the grand scheme of the universe, we are less than a grain of sand in the Sahara Desert.
Sure.
You're even
Not
less.
even one grain, man.
Not
I
even
can't even
one-
get one
Dude.
friggin' grain.
Yeah.
Look, and I'm not even one.
Nah, bro.
All right.
But what I'm saying too is that it's like that stuff, it doesn't really matter. It's all about here's the amount of time that you have. Nobody knows exactly how long it's going to be, and if you do, and you're not making yourself famous, what's going on? But like, you just make the most with what you have. Try to live in the moment. Do what you want to do, as long as you're not hurting anybody or doing anything like that. And what's so wrong with that? Like, why does everybody have to try to be a lawyer or a doctor? Or I need all of this money. At the end of the day, when you die, no one's going to know about the amount of money that you have. They're just going to see a hole in the ground with your body in it. And what's going to matter most is how you felt all the way up until that point. So that's my nemesis.
Brilliant.
Nice.
There you go.
Damn, bro. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I can't follow that.
Sure you can.
All right, Sean. Who's your nemesis? Who or what is your nemesis?
I'm gonna go with a what, I suppose, and I hope it doesn't tie too closely at Brad, but just insincerity. I can't stand insincere people. I feel bad saying it, but it's just like Brad says, live your own truth, man. Just be you. Don't put on a facade, because it's so easy to see through. Just be who you are. It's the best way to live an honest life. Be an open book. I mean, you don't have to tell them everything, but
Save some of the juicy parts when they buy it,
boom.
not when they're just reading the inside cover at the bookstore.
Yeah.
You want the full experience? Come pay for it. I'll give you a show.
Oh,
Uh-huh. play your cards right, you give them the full show, they turn the pages, one thing leads to another, you bring them to your jacuzzi. Have a good day. Thank you very much.
How do
Hello,
you do
goodbye.
it?
Hello, goodbye.
I couldn't have finished that better.
Hey, you could have, and you will, because that's going to happen. You need bubbles in there? I'm over here on the side.
Hello.
That's some wingman shit. That's
True
some
friend.
friendship.
That is friendship.
shit.
That
You
is.
jacuzzi your buddy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I don't,
All right,
I
Sheryl.
don't even want to respond to that because that was such a great couple of answers here. I don't want to follow it. The one I would use, and I wish it could be amusing and funny and all that. This isn't going to be. Sorry. People's belief systems. That gets in the way of reality. Reality is in this moment. As an example, my mom had dementia. People have ideas about what dementia looks like. It's bad. People are crazy, whatever it is. My mom had moments of extraordinary clarity, and I'll give you one of them. I was on the phone with her one day when she was in memory care, and I couldn't afford to have her in New Jersey. It was too expensive, so I had her where she was living in Pittsburgh, and I would call and visit as often as I could. I was always in the Pennsylvania Turnpike. I lived there. So one day I said, Mom, how's the weather? And when you're dealing with a dementia patient, you have to be extraordinarily specific. Otherwise, they don't get it. Okay, it's nice. What kind of weather do you have today, Mom? It's nice. Is it sunny today? Yes, it's sunny. And the light is a thank you. Whoa. That's pretty deep. And people don't think dementia patients are capable of doing things like that. I've kept that for years in my heart because it's such a beautiful thing to say. So it goes with brain injury as well. I mean, would you know I've had 4 strokes? Of course not. So I'm coming into people's lives to tell them this is what it can look like. I can get back a lot of what I used to have. I don't have it all back, but I can get back a lot of what I used to have. And I'm out here saying, get away from the ideas that when you get older, you lose brain function. Get away from the ideas that you have to have your life living a certain way, that you got to follow the rules, and you were talking about the expectations. It doesn't work. Instead, be love. Be open to people and be supportive of where they are because you never know how much they need your love and support. So, belief systems. You.
Drop that mic. Damn.
You can drop this in lieu of a mic. Yeah. What?
Not even dropping the mic, it was throwing the mic.
I was dropping with
Mike.
style.
Dropping it with style.
Yeah.
That's I'm a good friend. I'm picking
Oh,
up.
thank you,
There you go.
sir.
See?
You can't. She can't help but be the best. You just can't help it. It's just in your bones.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Of course.
Thank you.
My nemesis tends to be my own anxiety and fear. It holds me back in countless ways, and my life is a constant struggle to fight against it. So that's a bummer. That's my nemesis.
Dude, you're going to kick its ass.
You bet.
And
Damn
we're
right.
going to help you do it because that's what friendship's all about.
Bring it on.
When we
Gusto
get into,
boys.
When we get into Gusto House with the Gusto boys, with the Gusto pancakes, what's anxiety? We're going to go paint the town red. Or what's your favorite color?
Green?
We're going to paint the town green.
Green.
Yes.
Green. Oh, this is besides the point completely. This band, Eddie Izzard and the Gizzard Wizards, as
Yes.
Brad calls them.
Yeah.
King Gizzard and Lizard Wizard. Best band going. I'm going to see them next week.
Ooh.
I can't
Nice.
wait. They just put
Yeah.
out a new album called Infest the Rat's Nest. Real quick, it's about a plague that destroys Earth. Then they try to get on a ship. The rich people go to Mars.
Yeah.
The poor people go to Venus, but they can't go to Venus. They get destroyed, go insane, jump out of the spaceship, burn in flames, and end up in hell.
Damn. Dude,
That's a party.
is that the one with the music video with people setting themselves on fire?
You're damn right it is.
Oh yeah, that was serious.
That
was
song's
the
called-
first. That was the first thing I ever saw by them when you sent that
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
and I was like, "Holy shit!"
That song's called Self-Immolate, and it's about the people that have made it to a station that's orbiting Mars,
Uh-huh.
but they've all gone mad for whatever reason, the atmosphere or whatever,
Yeah.
and they desperately just want to be to explode into flames and die.
Wow.
Anyway.
Because they go out doing what they want. Boom.
Yeah, boom. That's right. But the thing about
I
King
love
Giz
that.
is that's a thrash metal album. They've also put out a progressive metal album. They've
Yeah.
also put out an acoustic album that's mostly acoustic guitars and flutes. They put out a free jazz album. These guys are all over the damn place,
Yeah.
and they're Australian. So anyway,
it.
King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Cool.
Check them out. Anxiety, fear. It's hard. It makes it hard to do things. Because something an example, I'll be afraid, I want a sandwich, but I'll be like, oh, I can't, what if I order it wrong? Or I'm nervous because I don't know how they do things here, so I won't get a sandwich. Now that seems so dumb, but it's just Now, I should live in a world where I'm able to go get a sandwich. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know. Does that sound weird to hear?
When I started in radio, I was given 2 pieces of advice. One of them is really relevant right now. Don't be perfect. Because when you are perfect, people can't connect with you. You make them aware of all their imperfections, and they don't like that very much. So be like me. You have no idea what's coming out of your mouth, and it's okay.
But that's in theory, like a lot of times I understand something in theory.
Yeah.
But like there's a feeling of anxiety that I feel in my chest a lot of the times when it's something stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit. Maybe that's why I tend to always go to the same places, because it's like, oh, I know how it works there. Yeah, the usual,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't know. But then there's also like, I know I'm able to defeat it. Like I don't think we're ever going to live in a world, I'm ever going to live in a world where I'm not feeling anxious or nervous about something. But it's a shame. I wish I could take more advice from 30-year-old me, who was just like, do it anyway. I know you're scared, but do it anyway. And I've gotten away from that a little bit, which is troubling. But
Make friends with the fear. The fear is absolutely your friend. It's going to help you learn things and experience things you haven't experienced or learned before.
okay.
Ask the fear what
I'm
it
down
has
with
to teach
that.
you. I do spiritual counseling and bar mitzvahs. So what you can do,
What do you do at a bar mitzvah?
spiritual counseling.
Nice.
But what it is, anything that comes into our lives is supposed to be embraced. In one of the healing modalities I follow every day, the quote is, fall in love with everything. So if you're afraid of something, fall in love with your fear, because your fear is your friend. Your fear has a lot to teach you.
All right, that's going to be my mantra. Fear is my friend.
Fear is
Quick
your friend.
question. Do you have to be Jewish and do you have to be 16 to have a bar mitzvah?
Oh, it's 13.
13.
It's 13. Well, girls are 12, so
Okay.
right there, no. What it really is it's a coming of age ceremony.
Okay.
So anybody could come of age whenever. I've known men in their 90s who've been bar mitzvah for the first time
Let's
because
go.
they couldn't do it when
bring it.
it was. So,
you have a
you
bar
want a
mitzvah?
coming of
I
age?
think I do. Yeah, I think like maybe when I turn 30. So which is next year.
Next year.
Next year.
Can we hold you up on a chair and everything?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
that's
what I'm saying.
cool.
We'll go to Gusto House.
You just
have a
want to be
little-
held up on a chair.
I kind of, yeah, that's what I'm
Now we
saying.
know.
bar mitzvah,
That's what it is.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm thinking we just do that. It's an excuse to have a party. I mean, anything can happen, right?
Yeah.
But I don't expect to have like some big reason to like have a large get together. Like I'm gonna get married, or I don't know. What's another reason? I don't know. Whatever. So I'm thinking, let's have a bar mitzvah. That I was just inspired by what you
There
said.
you go.
You
Oi.
know? Would you be the MC of my
I
bar
would
mitzvah?
love to come to your bar mitzvah. Be the MC. I am all over that.
Okay, so if we can make this happen, that's going down. Stamp it right here, official. If I have a bar mitzvah, Sheryl is the MC.
And
Absolutely.
Chuck
No,
gets
when?
to come.
Oh yeah, when, and also Chuck. Yeah, I guess Chuck could come.
He has to come. He's Chuck.
Yeah, I do need to see what Chuck's all about.
Yeah.
You know, before he comes to my bar mitzvah, it's like, can I trust you to hold part of this chair, Chuck? Is that for real?
Chuck, you might not want holding part of
Yeah,
that chair.
yeah.
He's
All
an
right.
android. I mean, come on.
So we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that's going to be a hell of a good time.
Nice.
It's a party.
Brad's bitch and bar mitzvah.
I like it. Oh shit, I get to design some cards.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
Yeah.
you do. You do, man. We're gonna go nuts.
All right.
Anyway, next question.
This one's I feel like these are kind of all over the place.
These are fun.
Dude, I love
These are great.
Okay, so if you could buy one material thing and money is not an issue, what would you buy? Truly, I don't have anything in my head right now, so thank
Yeah,
God you guys are going
I'd have to
first. I did this
really-
on purpose.
That's easy for me.
Go.
Yeah,
A rocket, like a very large spacecraft.
we can do it. You gonna go to space
Yeah,
by yourself?
I'll bring some people. The SpaceX thing pulled up to 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your
I
bar
was-
mitzvah.
It would just be cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You gonna
I was
fund your bar
thinking
mitzvah?
If money is not like an issue, probably a private jet, so I can bring people places and go whenever I want to go and not have to worry about delays at the airport or
Nice.
Great answer.
stupid crap like that. And then like with a private jet, you know, when you're in an airplane, and it's like, well, this is the space I have. And I'm sitting next to someone, and if I move in the slightest way, I'm gonna touch them, and that's gross. And also, my back can never get comfortable. I don't know why I chose that voice, guys. I'm really sorry. But like, if you have a private jet, there's like comfy seats. There's so much room for activity, so you could practice judo on the plane if you really wanted to.
Cool.
Don't recommend it. But I'm just saying, there's enough space where you can sit down and just be like, yeah. How long do we have till we get there? Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, you know what else
Like,
you could do
put
with
on
a
the
private
TV.
jet?
What's that?
Take that steep dive, you get 0G going on, so you could do judo and 0G.
Judo and 0G?
Whoa.
Sounds a little risque.
Only like a
Let's
minute,
go.
Risque?
Yeah.
Like you're nude?
Yeah. You know, like, hey, Judo.
Nudo.
Nudo. Wait a minute. Hold on. Very marketable term.
There's your
coining.
podcast.
Yeah, we're coining that right now. Nudo.
Nudo.
We do nude judo and talk about life. I have a family full of lawyers. That is mine. No one else is allowed to take it. And here it is. Nudo. Thank you,
Nudo,
James.
of course.
You made it, but I just took it.
That's
Hey,
fine. It's yours.
I'll give you credit.
All yours, bro. Shawnee.
All right, if I had an infinite amount of money, I could do anything.
Yeah.
Well, you can buy one material item,
Your material.
One material item.
and the money is not an object.
Could this be like a place?
You want to buy a place.
Yeah.
Where do you want to buy?
I would buy Red Bank.
I thought Greenland.
I'd buy Red Bank and I'd make it for the people again.
Nice.
Sick.
You know?
What do you mean?
I mean, I would get rid of all that fancy bullshit that's for the bourgeois,
There's a lot of that now.
and I'd bring back cool shit to Red Bank.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe we'd have more record stores. Maybe we'd have like more spaces for artists, you know? Art
Yeah.
galleries,
Nice.
you know, cool shit
Nice.
that
Very
people
cool.
should see.
Yeah.
Not some fucking fancy fish restaurant.
Yeah.
Damn,
Catch
fancy
22.
fish restaurant.
You guys
That's
are
what I
very
do.
oak.
That's
Ah,
what I
I'm
do
not
with my
gonna say
money.
Good answer.
That's
Good answer.
interesting. This is going to surprise you probably.
Really?
Yeah. One of my lifelong dreams has been to own a miniature golf course.
Nice.
That is surprising. I did not expect you to say that.
God. I mean,
Super jacuzzi.
thank you.
Very
And
jacuzzi.
think about this. People want to come there to have fun. So you get to see people smile. People enjoy themselves. They have great food. You know, may not be healthy, but who cares for one night? You know, great place where you can eat. Take a first date there. Beautiful summer evenings. You hear the bugs. You know, the breezes are blowing on you. You figure out finally how to get your ball through that freaking windmill. I mean, it's a really good thing to have. I would love it, and you get to play whenever you want to.
That's true.
No
That's
lines.
true.
Yeah.
I
no
want
lines.
this. I want this.
I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
That is a great because I love miniature golf definitely.
Let's
but
go.
Like, I would love to go.
We'll do it sometime.
To be able to like just so it's yours. So when it closes, you just go to town.
Oh yeah,
Bring your friends.
You
You, know,
bet.
bring a couple friends.
Party
All
on.
4 of us.
you bet.
Oh,
We should
that would
rent
be
out
awesome.
our own.
Ooh. Oh yeah.
Great answer.
Hey, here we go.
Well, I feel like originally I was gonna say like a really nice, good car that'll last me forever. But now, based on all your guys' answer, I feel like I'm gonna combine Cheryl's answer and Sean's answer. Sean's answer, Red Bank. Your answer, miniature golf course. And say I would buy Yestercades in Red Bank and
Oh,
just
wow.
friggin' live my life in there.
Yes.
Because that
So
place,
good.
you ever go in there?
Oh,
Yes.
That place is incredible,
Oh my
right?
God.
That place
Shout
makes
out to
me
Yestercades.
so happy. I walk in there, and I remember the first time I walked in there, I was like, "Oh, this is like walking into 1991. This is like
Wow.
walking into when I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
Nothing different. Like everything. I mean, they have modern like Xboxes and which is awesome too. That you can sit down and play. Because what other arcade can you sit down and play a console?
Right.
Yeah.
They have all of them.
But apart from that, it's just like straight up like walking into an arcade from when I was a kid. If you walk into a modern arcade, I still like it. I still like to go to an arcade. But those games, they're new, and I don't know what's going on. And I don't like them that much.
Yeah.
And they cost so much money.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So Yestercades, you pay by hour, and you just go to town, play whatever you want. I got to
Nice.
rediscover my love for like Ms. Pac-Man, but then I also got to discover games that I didn't really play. I love all these like food service games. So Burger Time, where you're
Cool.
running around making hamburgers
Time.
by being chased by like eggs and hot dogs.
I've
and
dreamt that.
yeah, of course.
Yes.
And
Who
Root
hasn't?
Beer Tapper, where literally you're just serving people root beer.
I love it.
Anyway.
It sounds so easy, but it's a tough game.
It is.
hard.
It gets difficult because there's like 4 bars, and you keep having to. So there'll be like 3 people at one bar you have to serve, and then there's 2 people down here, and you have to keep going back and forth. And you
Yeah.
can't miss anyone, and you have to also pick up the empty glasses that they leave. If they fall on the floor, you lose the round. Root Beer Tapper, great games. Really
Dude,
great
that
games.
that reminds me of things coming full circle. So as I get older, you know how your values change and things
Yes.
change. So one of my favorite pastimes now, at the ripe the ripe prime age of 29, is I love to drink high alcohol beers and play Donkey Kong. And see how far I can get. Because you get like in this zone and I'm just there drinking, and I'll try to play the level, see how well I do, and take a sip once you're done and just go right back into the next one. And I've gotten to level 3.
Whoa.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
that? How about
Nice.
that? And it gets wicked hard when she gets
Wicked
to level
hard.
3.
Oh, I bet.
Especially when you've had like 3 IPAs in your system. You're like, this is bullshit. I'm going to play Ninja Turtles. Like, and you know, just do whatever. But you say that, and other people are like looking around like, why is this guy getting so mad playing Donkey Kong? But
I get it.
yeah, I don't actually get that upset, but I'm playing and I'm like in the zone. You know?
I used to work at Funkin' Standard, and we had a Donkey Kong
Yeah,
machine in there.
dude.
I used to play it all
Yeah.
the
Wow.
time. I only made it to level 2.
Because it's hard as hell.
It's so
Difficult
hard.
game.
You can't grab the mallet, even though it seems like a good idea. You want to take your frustrations out on those barrels, but it just slows you down. And if you don't get it in the right spot when the hammer comes up and those barrels hit you, you're done. And you can't climb ladders, so you have to choose really wisely if you're going to pick up that mallet or not.
I never pick up the
Never pick up the mallet. Dude.
Never.
Never.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
Don't
don't
do
do it.
Chuck.
Don't do it, Chuck.
Don't
All right.
do it.
You
Next
don't-
one is a very fun one. Well, maybe it's not that fun. I oversold it. I'm gonna skip it.
No. We need
Don't
it.
do
Get out of
it.
here.
We are going to do it.
Okay. What's a movie you never get tired of watching?
Oh,
I feel like we got these easy.
Oh yeah.
come on. Do I need to say this? Do you guys need to know? Really need to
Does it
know?
start with a J?
Starts with a J and rhymes with Ron Dick. It's John Wick, baby! It's all 3 of them! And the third one is on Amazon Prime right now, according
Whoa.
to Shane. So get your ass in front of a computer
Read this
yes,
right here.
and take... May I see that pen?
Yeah.
And go ahead and watch John Wick.
Wait, it's
Pen
not
is taking
Ron
so much abuse.
It's not Ron Dick? No. John Wick. John Wick.
Ron Dick 3. Schmera Schmellum. John Wick, all right.
Y'all
Shawnee
never
boy.
get tired of John Wick.
I guess... I have a lot of them, but I guess I'll say I Heard Huckabees.
Great
One of
pick.
my favorite movies.
Great pick.
I love it. It's very funny, and it's also a deep exploration of like what it means to be yourself. It's an interesting movie.
Yeah, for sure. How am I not myself?
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 If you've seen the movie, you got a big kick out of that. If you
Yeah.
haven't,
Yeah.
you don't know
what
what's
the hell
going
we're
on.
talking about.
Cheryl, I don't feel like we don't talk a lot about movies.
We haven't yet, but we can start.
I love movies.
I
I'm
love movies, too.
a big fan.
The
Big
Movies
fan.
are terrific. I've been watching a lot of old movies lately, and I love like the 30s. Really cool old movies, which I love. And we could talk about those, but I'm going to be a girl because I need to balance out the energy here. There's a lot of testosterone running around here. And I need to
High
balance
levels of T.
very much.
Through the roof.
So bring in the estrogen right now.
Bring it up.
Yeah, Moonstruck. I love that movie. It's so sweet. And these people are so sure that they're right, and then they find each other, and they realize that what he thought was right was wrong, and what she thought was right was wrong, and they get it. It's just such a wonderful romantic movie about real love. What happens to get to real love? How you break through your ego, how you break through your misconceptions, and you just say, oh, this is what I really was looking for all the time.
So that's Cher and Nicolas Cage?
Which I don't like Nicolas Cage very much generally. I don't really like his performances, but I thought he was terrific.
Depends
in that.
on the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like he can be
He can be hit or miss.
He can
yeah,
be.
he needs to
yeah.
be in the right movie,
Yeah.
I think. I've never actually seen Moonstruck, but I love a good romantic comedy.
Yeah.
To me, nothing better. A good one. The
yeah.
problem is there's a lot of bad ones.
Okay.
And I think that soils their name for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But a really good
Yeah.
romantic comedy can't be beat. So I gotta watch it.
You got
That's what
it.
I'm trying to say. Did you ever see Before Sunrise?
I've not seen Before
Very
Sunrise.
So it's actually now it's a trilogy of movies. Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, Before Midnight.
Nice.
So first one came out in 1995. Stars Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy. Two strangers. They meet on a train. When the train stops in Vienna, they think, oh, well, let's just spend the day together. Like, we only have one day.
Wow.
Let's just spend it together because we seem to have this connection.
Nice.
So that's the first movie. And the first movie is literally them just walking around Vienna talking. That's the whole movie.
Okay.
The second movie is them meeting 9 years after that. And the third movie is
Oh, what a
what
great
happened
movie.
9 years after that. So a lot of people theorize that every 9 years there's going to be a new movie. They're written and directed by the great Richard Linklater, one of my favorite filmmakers. Give them a watch. I wouldn't
Thank
necessarily
you.
call it a romantic comedy, even though it is very funny, but it's very true to life. You know what I mean? There are dramatic stakes involved, but it's basically these two people having a conversation. Of course, that's why I think like dramedy is like the closest to real life on screen. Because is life super dramatic all the time, or are you just sitting there like falling on your back all the time, laughing, haha? Like it's a
Yeah.
balance of both.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anyway, great film. Speaking of Richard Linklater, the movie I would say I could watch over and over again and never get tired of is Dazed and Confused.
Oh, that's a good movie.
So
Very
good,
good
right?
movie.
Once again, very, very light on plot. Not much. If you explain to someone what happens in that movie, it's the last day of school. Some boys get paddled,
Yeah.
and then there's a party at the end. That's the whole movie, essentially, right?
Yeah.
But it's not about what happens. It's about the characters that you're spending time with. And
The
just
characters
that,
and the feeling.
yeah, exactly.
There's a
That
feeling.
last
Yeah.
day of school feeling. I always watch it if I'm off work for a few days.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going on a vacation, I'll watch it right after, like right before. So like my last day of work, then I'll watch it right after because it's their feeling of freedom. Last day of school.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're just hanging out and we're partying. Yeah, one of my favorite movies. Richard Linklater also made a little movie called Waking Life that I could watch over and over again.
Dude, Waking Life.
Brad,
Tell
Waking
me
Life.
about
What's that all
movie.
about?
Yeah, it's a movie James let me borrow about 2.5 months ago that I've yet to watch because that is not Jacuz. So I need
You're
to
not being
get-
very jacuzzi right
I
now,
need
Brad.
to get the Jacuz going and watch that movie because James is a friend and he let me borrow it. And in the state of mind that I was in at that time, he said, "Hey man, I think this movie's going to connect with you on a lot of levels. I think you should watch it." And I absolutely do want
Whoa,
to.
check it out, Osprey.
Wow.
That is pretty cool, actually.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I've never seen those in real life.
Did 3 of them?
That's not good.
All right, some shit is really going down. I hope they don't know I'm here.
It's all about friendship.
Yeah. Anyway,
I
Whoa.
want to make friends with some Transformers.
yeah. James letting me borrow that movie because of how I was and how he thought it might help me out is all part of him being a good friend.
Did you ever
So-
see Waking Life, Cheryl?
No,
I think you'd really like that movie
Little
too.
check it
Brad,
out.
when you finish Waking Life, give it to
Give it to
Cheryl.
Sheryl.
I'm on the
You
list.
got it.
Yeah, I'm
You
not
got
DJing
it.
for you until I see that movie.
All right,
All
deal.
right, just so you know.
Deal.
All right, so we got-
I'm not going to watch John Wick 3 again until I watch it.
That's your penance, yeah.
That's a
You
promise.
don't get to watch
That's a
John-
promise. No, for real.
All right, so we got 2 more. One is a little frivolous, one is not frivolous at all.
on the
Here's the frivolous one. What is something that is popular nowadays that annoys you?
Selfies.
Yes,
Yeah.
very annoying.
Yeah.
Very annoying.
I don't need to elaborate on that.
The end. Sean.
To kind of go in the same realm, just like general phone usage in public rather than interacting with people. Just come on, just put it down for 5 seconds.
Yeah. Like selfies are fine. In moderation. You know, it's just too much. Where it's like, it's the me show starring me on my
Yeah,
page.
Yeah.
Check this out. I'm going to highlight the good parts of my life to make everyone else feel like shit and try to make myself feel better.
That's right.
Well, and
Yeah.
also to to come back to what you said, Sheryl, it's just live in the moment. Be
Live in the
here.
moment.
Be present.
Yeah, put the phone
That's
down.
what we need
Because
right
how
now.
often do you see people looking at something, like if they're at a show and they're looking at it like this?
Yeah.
You know? What are you doing? Do you care more that you have a video on your phone about it so you can tell people you were there? Or would you rather be there?
An experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a thought.
Sure.
Again, what do I know?
People who think that hookups are real love,
Hey.
you know, because we don't know what love is. Many times we think, well, we're getting the festival of the hormones going, which is what I call it, and I must be in love. And it's just a festival of the hormones, nothing more, nothing less. Get to know somebody, find out who they are. Are they being authentic with you? Are they being authentic with themselves? What are they about? Are they really going to be there with you and for you and accept your love and give you love? Nah, real love. Forget the hookup thing.
Some say love,
That's it.
it is a river. That's all I know.
From the song Stylings of Bread.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful.
On your new album, right?
Very true.
Yeah, coming soon.
That's what I thought.
Very Jacuz, that's the
Yes.
name.
Very jacuzzi.
Very Jacuz.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess mine is the same as your guys' is with the phones.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But just a general, like, I guess, yeah, in general, people not understanding or realizing that other people around you are other people. Like,
Yes.
I understand, like, advocating for yourself, right? Or not wanting to be walked on or trampled on, but truly to the point of, I don't recognize anyone else around me as a real person. I am
That's
the
it.
center of the world.
Yes.
And I am all that matters.
Yeah.
That I've seen a lot of lately, and maybe it's not a new thing. Maybe it's been around forever, but I feel like phones are exacerbating the problem.
Yeah, like it highlights it all, right?
Yeah, and you
There's
just
a lot of
truly.
people do that because you're carrying around a supercomputer and you're talking like, we're using this for force of good.
Yeah, well,
And also to
hopefully.
play Pokemon. But
Yeah. So just that is, and you see it everywhere you go, you
Yeah.
go, and I find that very, very
Or
frustrating.
how about when you're in the middle of a conversation with someone and you're talking to them and they just go, bip, 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 bip. So you just said, okay, fuck you. What you have to say is not as important as
Exactly.
what I need to do in here. So it's
Exactly.
like, all right, so what I do now, if people do that, I'll just say, oh, okay, I'll wait. And then they'll usually stop, or I'll just stop the conversation because it's like, all right, I see where you're at, and I don't want it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. But, just say.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
Not your
This is gonna be the last question. I think this is the end, right?
Aw, this is fun.
This is it. Well, come back, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving.
This should stay here.
Yeah.
Always.
That's what we're gonna do.
We're gonna bring you a nice meal.
Nice. What are we having?
Vegetables.
Baba
stew.
Ganoush, apparently.
Hey, hey. All right, last question. This is a biggie, guys. This is a biggie. What is one thing that you wish you could do or accomplish before you die?
See as many different places and cultures as I can. It's a little broad and it's specific, so it's not like one set goal. So I don't like the idea of that, really, where it's like, I have to do this one thing or else I've failed. Because I don't know what that thing is yet, and I feel like it changes a lot over time, but
Yeah.
one thing I do know is I want to gain as much knowledge as I can. And one of the best ways and the most fun ways of doing that for me so far has been to go to different places and experience different things and talk to different people, see how they live, what do they eat, what do they value, what do they enjoy. That's so being able to go at least to one new place, like a destination every year if possible, would be great. But even if it's more than that, it's less than that, just as long as I can do the best that I can with what I have.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I mean, if I'm being realistic, like, learn to truly love myself.
Ooh, nice one.
Because I feel like right now I'm in a state of, like, I'm trying to get better about it, and I'm trying to be better to myself. And I'll tell myself, like, oh, hey, I love you. But I don't think I quite truly mean it yet. So, like, I'd like to be at a place at some point in my life where I say I love you to myself and I actually mean it.
That's a beautiful answer. Thank you for sharing that with us.
I don't know if I'll ever get there, but, die trying.
God bless you, honey. You're doing great work.
Thank you.
You are. I think mine is because I'm really supposed to be dead right now. I shouldn't even be alive. So I've thought about this question a lot. It's been really with me for the last 7.5 years. And I think what it is I just want to do everything I can to remove any blocks that I have to being loved, to everybody I meet. Because I know that love is going to heal our world. Love is going to transform our world through love. And whatever I have in me that is not love, I want to get rid of it.
Nice.
Thank you.
I wanted a couple of donuts.
Broad Street?
Broad Street,
Yeah, Broad Street.
Yeah.
Dude,
I like it.
full circle.
Perfect answer.
Yeah.
I just had the best donut of my life when I was away.
Yeah?
In Ohio, a place called Grader's.
Mm.
It's like
Oh, their ice cream is amazing.
Yes,
oh my
bakery
God.
ice cream place. They've been around since like the 1800s or
Yeah.
something, apparently. Super old. But the place does not look that old. It's very much refurbished. So we got a bunch of food before the wedding started, like coffee and donuts. And let me tell you, do you know how hard it is to find a good coffee place in Cincinnati? They're all closed on the weekend.
What?
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Which, like, to be fair, as a working man, I appreciate that other working people have 2 days off. Good for them, I understand. But if I'm in a new place, like I just said, I want to learn new things, experience different things. I'm not going to Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not going to Starbucks. I'm not going to Panera.
Yeah.
So luckily, Graders had coffee, and we were able to take like their entire pot and be like, "We have 8 thirsty men. We need this." And they filled up some carafes. We took that. We took a bunch of donuts, and I had the Homer Simpson, I like to call it, which is the pink
and the
frosted with the
sprinkles?
sprinkles.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it was.
Classic.
This was literally the first time I've had a donut in years, like just a straight up donut, like years, and it was the best thing I've ever eaten. It was my favorite thing that day. And it was, it wasn't my favorite thing of the whole day. There were a lot of things that day that were pretty good, hello. So, but that morning, that was the best thing that morning, was the Homer Simpson. And James, I'm sorry I cut you off.
Son of a
The
beast
stupid
thing.
mouth.
No,
Always
no,
talking.
I brought up the donuts. What do you expect?
I got so excited.
What I really want and this is not too far off from
Tell
what
me
you
what you
said,
want.
Brad. Here's what I really, really want.
Yeah.
As Spice Girl is in that show. I would like to visit all 50 states in America.
Fuck yeah.
Because, and of course I'd like to travel, see the world a little bit, but I figure this country is exceptionally vast, right?
It's a lot
not
here.
it's not the largest country on earth, but it's a big one, right? So before I get out and see the whole world, I want to see my country, because there's a lot of it I don't know anything about, and I've never been to it all. I'm very much an East Coaster. Been here, only ever lived on the East Coast.
Yeah.
A couple years ago, as you know, as most people know, I drove to Colorado, and that's another. I would absolutely like to go back to Colorado because I loved it there. And I drove through, the main like up northern drag of the United States, and I didn't fully get to explore each state because I didn't have that much time. But just to stop I get to stop in Indiana, I get to stop in Illinois. Driving through Iowa was beautiful. Nebraska,
Yeah.
beautiful. I just would like to see every state in the union would be nice, and I feel like every state, of course, is going to have something worthwhile or something I'm interested in seeing. So, yeah, I guess that would be my thing.
I totally agree with that. 1,000%. I want to see what's in here before you go elsewhere.
Right?
Also, how are the donuts?
This is painful because what happened was I went to Denver, Colorado, which I discussed with Sheryl. I wasn't super fond of Denver.
Oh, yeah?
I loved Morrison, and I stayed in Lakewood, and Red Rocks was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen with these two eyes, right? But the city of Denver, perhaps I didn't plan it out enough, but I went there just I'll go here, I'll walk around.
Let's walk around.
And I was just like, huh.
Yeah.
This is what's going on in Denver, huh? Anyway, I went and I walked past Voodoo Donut, which is
Past it? You didn't go in it?
Well, here's the thing, dear friend Sheryl. At the time, I was very, very, very strict. No sugar.
Okay, I understand.
Absolutely no sugar. So, huge regret in my life not going in and get yourself one friggin' donut. Just give yourself a break.
Yeah.
Because I saw Voodoo Donut, I forget where, I think it might have been on Man vs. Food.
Yeah.
And I guess it started in Portland,
Yeah.
right? But they have one in Denver, and they have one in, Austin or something. I don't know. They have a few around the world. And I did not go, and I did not get a Voodoo Donut. And shame.
You gotta
regret.
go back.
That's why we go back. I desperately want to go back, because I want to see.
Gusto on the road.
Oh.
Gusto, Colorado.
That would be awesome.
Gusto,
Yo, guys,
Colorado.
imagine us filming.
I'm
I wonder if
saying,
they'd
dude.
let us film in Red Rocks. You could go there in the
And just go there.
and hang out
That'd
when
be sick.
there's not a show on.
Dude, just meet some strangers, talk
That's awesome.
talk about some
That's
stuff,
great.
eat
Could you
some
imagine?
donuts.
I wonder if
Kindness
you-
initiative on the road.
There you go.
Would they let us do
Yeah.
that?
Why
Well,
not?
I don't know, dude. I'm pretty sure this is America.
I mean, people film themselves there, right?
Yeah,
Running
I
up
can't
and
see
down
why
the
not.
stairs.
Yeah.
Dude, they can't
Oh,
stop us.
Snap.
Yeah.
We could do that.
Yeah, hello.
We're gonna do that. It's coming.
Hello. Beep,
Well, we
beep.
also have a
Here's the
very,
next trip.
very dear friend in Montreal who's invited us up there. So maybe
International.
Yeah. we
Gusto
can go.
International.
Gusto International.
Ooh,
So
yeah.
anyway,
That's
yeah,
cool.
that's mine. All 50 states. Hawaii and Alaska, those would be a little more difficult, right? But
It's a difficult drive.
Hawaii, though.
Yeah.
yeah, drive to
is-
Hawaii, that would be. I would love to go, but anyway, that's my thing. All right, anyone have any final words? Because I think we've gone for a long time. How long are we going for?
1 hour, 39 minutes.
Holy
Whoa,
Shiver me timbers.
that's a long episode. That's
Well,
that's a big
because
boy right there.
That's the amount of time that you need to dedicate to a topic as important as friendship. The chair broke. Don't worry about it. So what I'm saying is, I am once again, as always, very grateful to be honored to be a part of the Gusto presentation today. And you guys are all my friends, 100%, and we're going to be homies for the longest time. And it's great. Trust you both. Sheryl, trust you. You're in here. We're all in here for the same reasons. And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, friendship. So thank you all. Very grateful.
Thanks for being here.
No.
My feeling is mutual.
Yes.
Very mutual.
I'm sorry I keep busting up this chair here.
That chair is not.
Yeah,
It's not conducive for a wide back.
it's on its last legs.
Hey.
Hey, and we're through. Goodbye.
That's it.
Goodbye. Take care, everyone.
Boom.
All right.
There we go.
Nice. We did it.
Yeah. we
Thank
did
you
some
so
Gusto.
much.
Oh, thank you for coming on. This is
That was a great show.
fantastic.
That was a terrific show.
Yeah. Did it.
That show was real.